All right, everybody, thank you for coming to the General Assembly. Immediately following the General Assembly, we will also have an incredible presentation from Dr. Danilo Mandic, so please definitely stay for that. Um, so our February General Assembly, that's very exciting. We have a lot to talk about, so let's dive in. If at any point you have questions or concerns or something you want to share, please let us know in the chat and we'll call on you. Okay, so the first thing I want to reflect back on is that we had our meeting for the Student Wellbeing Committee back on February 6th, and we talked about current events for health services. Basically, students don't always know who they can go to for mental health services, and so we wanted to ensure that different schools have different tabling events so that students are aware that that news and those visuals get out there of what's available to them. So with the Harvard Graduate Council, they appointed me as their representative to the Student Wellbeing Committee. And in that role, I represent all of our graduate schools together. So I just wanted to let everyone know what we're working on. So the Harvard Kenneth Griffin Center had Sasha come visit as a little pet support day. And then Chan is having different events as well, followed by the Kennedy School, then the Graduate School of Education, the Law School, and then lastly, the Business School. To learn more, you can follow this link here or scan the QR code. So Wellbeing Week will be all the way from March 18th to the 22nd. And we are planning an event for UN International Day of Happiness as well. So if anyone has questions about the Student Wellbeing Committee, please let me know. The committee was created in response to COVID-19 and students feeling isolated and not being allowed on the campus. To just have a way of getting their thoughts and feelings out and making sure our mental health is where it needs to be. Moving on, Palentine's is coming up. So we're going to have another shelter supply drive that's going to take place from February 14th to the 22nd. And so as soon as that link is up and running, we'll go ahead and share that with everyone. We had great success in December for the Christmas supply drive, the winter supply drive that we have done for the past 3 years now. And all of the supplies on that list were donated to the Harvard Square Homeless Shelter. So we're really excited about that. And we're really excited to continue that relationship with the Harvard Square Homeless Shelter. So expect this site to go live and the Amazon wish list to go live on either Sunday or Monday. And we will be sharing that information in all of the group chats as well. The postcard protest updated. Okay, so as we all know, last semester we specifically targeted Claudine Gay. We sent in over 3,000 postcards to her, asking her to ask the Faculty of Arts and Sciences Council to change our degree names from in extension studies to something that, for heaven's sake, makes sense. We did not receive a response from her, so we rebranded. So for those of you who are new, we've already sent over 1,000 new postcards with the design you see on your screen here. With a new letter, and this time we're targeting interim president Alan Garber. We're also targeting the Harvard Corporation, the Harvard Board of Overseers, and the Faculty of Arts and Sciences Council directly. And don't tell anybody, but at least for the Faculty of Arts and Sciences Council, they do have to be teaching it on campus. So will I be visiting them in between their classes and talking to them deliberately, specifically myself? Yes, I will. That is my strategy. I will be lobbying for us. And I know they're sick of me already, that they've been hearing from me a lot, but I have no plans on stopping. So I'll let you know how that goes. So our official postcard is based on some of the posters we carried during the October rally. And we had been working with Naveed on specifics and sending out a survey and a weekend spreadsheet. So there are over 80 members that we're actually targeting with this. And we ended up getting 529 online signatures on that petition that we started. We only had it open until the end of January, but that's a huge turnout. That's fantastic. And that really helps us make our point. So I will keep you updated on everything that's going on with that. And I see that there are some questions in the chat. I'll answer those and look through them after we get through these current things. Okay, As you know, the controversy with Harvard professor Hochschild, she apologized for denigrating Harvard Extension School, but an article came out about that, and I was very upset about how there are no reports on our postcard protest, or the fact that we'll be also sending letters and that I'll be going in person to meet these people. There were also no reports through the Crimson on our veterans issues when they lost their veterans benefits, and we had to fight really hard with the Veterans Society to get them back. But this term, Crimson has new HES specific reporters. And a couple of days ago in the ESRI WhatsApp group, some students mentioned that they've been contacted by HES reporters asking them questions about administration and their feelings about their time at Harvard Extension School. So this is very promising. I also met with Lenny and Kirsten. They are our HES specific reporters last Saturday. They wanted to talk about a resolution that I proposed before the Harvard Graduate Council. It was an emergency resolution that passed. In essence, basically, Congress, despite Dr. Gay stepping down, is not satisfied with Harvard and has a lot of accusations and criticisms of the university. And they did mention they wanted to come after our federal aid, and they found a sneaky way to do that with a bill that was proposed. It basically looks like it's extending Pell Grants to students who want to do a short-term certificate program, or a work-related vocational program, which I 100% support. The problem is that Harvard is subject to a tax code that they mention in a sneaky small sentence in the feel-good bill that would actually, if this bill passed, lead us to lose all of our federal aid for all graduate students at Harvard University. So I drafted an emergency resolution combating that, and it passed. And we had many supporters from Yale support us as well. Many signees from MIT. We did have some support from Brown and Princeton as well. So this bill would have targeted the top 35 elite institutions in the United States. And we knew we needed to fight back. Also, that Harvard Extension School would be disproportionately impacted by this because we're the working man's Ivy. A lot of us depend on our aid to get through our classes, and that's not fair to us. Because if the Pell Grant bill is supposed to support students who really need the money, well, having Harvard Extension School negatively impacted by this bill is kind of hypocritical. So with that, once that resolution passed and all of the other Harvard graduate presidents signed on to it, we went ahead and drafted a letter and sent that out to Congress as well. I'm keeping a very close eye on this, and I'll let you know what's going on. In addition, though, there has been another bill proposed recently, this time on the state level in Massachusetts, asking to tax Harvard's endowment by 2.5%. Opposing that as well, and I will be drafting an emergency resolution about that, as well as an academic degree integrity resolution, which states that whether a degree is partially online or fully online, or has a hybrid component, that all degrees should be named fairly and treated as a legitimate degree at Harvard University throughout. It's basically a stigma opposition resolution that I'll be introducing to the Harvard Graduate Council on Monday. Okay, and with that, like I said, HES reporters did talk to me specifically about the resolution that passed, but they also asked about Hochschild, so there's no escaping this topic. They in particular asked if I accepted her apology, and in my email, my initial email to her, I had. However, her follow-up emails still said something to the effect of, I'm sorry for how my comments were taken, not I'm sorry for what I specifically said. And therein I took an issue. So I know that some of the questions that the Crimson has been asking students to answer have been administration based, and hoping to get more information about Hochschild as well. So there is that component in there. We don't know what they'll report. They can take any angle they want to take, but just know that there'll probably be something coming out soon regarding that. Okay, what's happening today for events? We have our professor spotlight with literally an icon. Dr. Danilo Mandic will be learning about refugees and more forced migration at 1 o'clock. So he'll be here at 1 o'clock. So please do join us for that. And upcoming events. Before I do that, let me check the chat. Did I miss anything? Okay, I don't see any questions. Okay, upcoming events. Next month on March 9th at 1 p.m., we will be having another professor spotlight. The mini course will be called Propaganda Past and Present. And so this is a very exciting class, and we'll be preparing this with the Veteran Society. So thank you, President Chris, for joining forces with us on this. And I also want to thank the International Relations Society for co-hosting Danilo Mandic's event today as well. So Dr. Soroka did do a event last year with the International Relations Club, and I thought it was very important to have another event with him because his events are just really great. So we're in for a treat again. And we do have 7 other professors who are interested. So I'm hoping in March, April, and May, we'll go ahead and have extra professor spotlights throughout the month instead of just one a month after the General Assembly, with a little bit more leniency and flexibility for the professors themselves. This month, we're having a hybrid event. We'll be painting Harvard crests at our paint and sip event. It'll be at the Memorial Church in the Buttrick Room, and we'll be painting our beautiful Harvard crests on February 23rd from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. You can join from Zoom if you want to paint from Zoom, but you can also join in person. You'll be able to network and have incredible snacks with everybody. It's a lot of fun. Also, this month, we're having Legally Blonde movie night on February 16th from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Again, free snacks and networking. It's a lot of fun. We had this event, well, actually, both of these events last year. They're our legacy events. They were extremely popular, so we knew we had to bring them back again. HESA board updates. Okay. If you would like to volunteer at HESA, you can email here. Please send your resume and a brief paragraph about how you'd like to participate, and we'll find a way to get you to work with us. And updates for me, things we have going on. Active learning weekends, we're going to start targeting them really heavily, which means you'll be seeing me stand outside of classrooms with HESA cookies, talking to students, trying to get them to come out to these physical events and just let them know who HESA is, what ESRI does as well. I am having a brunch with administration on February 13th. So if you have questions for administration or you think there are certain things that need to be brought up, now's a good time to shoot me an email and let me know so I can bring it up. The second half of the year is the final push for our year-long protest. So if you are at an event and you see me, come find me and sign a bunch of postcards, okay? We'll be sending out about 7,000 plus. I will be meeting with Dean Coleman, I think the 3rd week of March, which is a Wednesday, is the day we have planned. So if there are things you think we need to add to our agenda that you think are Dean specific questions, let me know. My big thing, a big topic that I want to discuss with the Dean is the fact that students at Harvard Extension School cannot obtain duplicate diplomas if our diplomas are damaged. Or say what happened to me with a previous university is I went to go get my documents authenticated. They're supposed to authenticate a copy, but they actually stapled into the original onto the authentication. And in China, you can't take the authentication off because it makes your verification null and void, but also it just made the diploma look really ugly. So I found out, if I want to return to China and something like that happens again, I can't get a duplicate diploma. And other students have also mentioned wanting a duplicate diploma, maybe one for their wall or one to carry with them for employment authorization reasons. So this is something I'll be bringing up, but there are other issues such as the housing issues, how we need more options for housing on campus and things like that. So if anyone else has suggestions, please let me know. And then, of course, upcoming movie nights, The Social Network and Goodwill Hunting are being planned. We actually do have to pay for licensing when we have an event like this. So we had to definitely verify with admin that it was possible to do these. Licensing can vary anywhere from $250 to $450 per movie. And one final resolution I want to mention, this is Harvard Graduate Council specific that I didn't mention before. Last semester, we asked if we could make our student ID cards double as subway transportation and bus cards, because the college had that ability, but none of the graduate students did. We assumed we'd get a lot of pushback, but when we talked to the administrative authorities, they said that the reason as to why they didn't do it is simply because nobody asked. Okay, so we asked and they said that's fine. But the resolution that I'm proposing at the next Harvard Graduate Council meeting, which is going to be on this Monday, is making it statewide. This would be a Massachusetts state bill, making it statewide so that all college students and university students in the state of Massachusetts are able to use their ID cards to double as MBTA cards. So it's a big thing we're working on. You know, the Harvard Graduate Council can try and jump into state and national political events and give their input, but it's not been often done. So I'm very excited about this resolution and I hope it passes. I think to be very beneficial for a lot of students. We're also working on potentially getting a student discount on those ID cards when that ID card is used on the subway or the bus. So any thoughts on that? Any other suggestions? That would be amazing. Do we have a representative from the Harvard Graduate Council here today? Is Bradley here?
Hi, Mina. Sorry, before we move on, maybe I think that bus ID idea is very, very good. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
I was wondering, I don't know if this is dean related questions, but perhaps I remember you mentioning that as Harvard Extension students, we cannot access all of Harvard campus area. So maybe that would be something that and then another thing would be just maybe getting a little broom closet space or something to
keep our
to keep our stuff. And yeah.
So as an update, I did meet with admin and try to talk to them about if there's like a storage space for our stuff, and they said absolutely not. Don't know why. I know Cody asked last year as well, but I did outright ask them, hey, is this possible so that when the next president is elected, that we can have a space? And they just outright said no, with no further explanation. With regard to Harvard campus areas, different ID cards for different students allow them access into different things. Some of that, like the dorms, are only accessible to the college students, and that's for their, protection and privacy. So in that case, it's understandable. However, last semester, my big issue with campus spaces is the fact that we don't have access to student spaces for organizations that would be recognized as presidential organizations who should have access to different places on Roombook, but we're actually heavily limited. So every time we have an event on campus, I have to actually email individual venues and ask them, is this date available? Can our organization come at this time? And that's been a big issue that I've been advocating on getting fixed. However, it hasn't been fixed yet, but we did bring that up to admin because other than some areas in Smith and specifically the Science Center, we don't have access via Roombook to all of the areas that other organizations would be able to host and have their events, which is very unfortunate. Any other questions, concerns, or comments about what's been mentioned thus far?
I had a quick question I put in the chat, just about can you use like HESA budget to just get like a offsite storage? If they're not going to give you one, it's like pay the $50 a month or whatever it is. Can we do that or no?
I could try to do that, but the problem is the budget resets every time there's a new president. And that's something I want to bring up. Elections will begin in April. Candidates will be able to announce then. I want to remind everyone of the election rules. You can't announce that you're running yet. You can't publicly ask for votes yet. You can't start making any advertising materials for your runs yet or anything like that. Also, there's a rule that you cannot negatively campaign against anybody you're up against. And you also cannot ask people for their votes. That's another thing that I'm challenging in the March meeting. I want our elections to be real elections in which you can ask people for votes, because during my election cycle, it was a rule that you could say, number one, you were running, and number two, you could post about your campaign on your social media, but couldn't spend more than $150 on your own campaign materials. And you couldn't go in public groups or anything like that and say, vote for me. And I think that makes no sense, because you're running for a political position in which you need people's votes. Simultaneously, administration saying, oh, well, we're not having enough of a turnout on elections or events or things like that. And I'm like, well, you aren't really letting people sell themselves either and ask for votes, which is very important in politics. So there's that issue. If the budget resets, which it will, basically this is how it works. In April, people will decide who wants to run. They'll announce that. They'll put in their applications. Admin will let everyone know. And then by May 1st, the next representatives will be announced. And by June 1st, my time will be done, and then I'll officially be ex officio. So that's not a lot of time. But also, as soon as someone else is elected, they have to meet with admin and prepare the new budget for the year. So if we get storage space now, there's no guarantee that they'll keep paying for that storage space as that new election cycle is taking place and someone else is taking that role on, which is concerning to me.
No, it's fair. Fair assessment. Fair enough.
But I will ask for clarification. I will make a point of clarification and see what we can do. But the extension school administrative building is such a big building. I don't believe that they don't have the space. I just don't know why they won't grant it to us. So I want to know what the real story is there, but
yeah, I agree to that. That's terrible. Like, yeah, we got rooms. I mean, not for you, but we have rooms. That's terrible.
Yeah. I'll double check on what would happen with storage space if we provided our own. And as a heads up, everything for HESA is in my house. So, and last year, Cody had help from Bradley in keeping all of HESA's things together. There's also the issue of whoever is elected might not be a president who can stay on campus full time, in which case, where do we even mail those materials to? That's a huge concern. It's been on my mind for months now. I've been thinking about it. So we'll figure it out, but that's definitely a concern that we're looking into preemptively. Any other questions or concerns? Let me check the chat as well. Oh, okay, that's you. Oh, Caleb is coming up for an active learning weekend from April 19th to 21st. Tell all of your classmates I'll be standing outside of the classroom with cookies, seeking to talk to them and get postcards signed and promote our events. I'll be there. I don't know necessarily how many students are in each active learning weekend classroom, but just know that I'll be waiting outside on the public sidewalk to meet everyone. Is Brad here? Bradley?
No, I don't believe that any HGC reps are here.
Okay, well, I am your HGC rep, so I'll just go ahead and talk about what's going on. Monday, there will be a meeting for HGC at Harvard Divinity School. The Harvard Graduate Council has a new meeting location every month at a different graduate school. I've already talked about the 3 resolutions that I'll be proposing, but I'm coming out swinging. Also, a big reason as to why this degree integrity resolution is something I'm trying to get past is because we can't do school specific resolutions. When we do something with the Harvard Graduate Council, it has to be a resolution that might impact every graduate school. And that's why I'm approaching it this way, because if they sign on it and it passes, we still, as the extension school, will have their backing in saying, hey, extension studies doesn't fit this resolution that we agreed to for all of the schools at Harvard, which is exactly my plan, which is exactly what I want. There will be a masquerade ball in late March and also on February 22nd. I don't believe this is sponsored by HGC, but there is a Viennese ball happening. If anyone's interested in that on February 22nd, just know that I will be there representing HESA. And so there's a lot of cool things going on. And like I said, we're really working more on the state level now, trying to oppose all of these bills that are coming through that are trying to basically take away from our federal aid and our endowment. Okay, moving on. Student society updates. Let's hear from some of our societies. Okay, so let's start with CWLSS. Do we have a representative here?
Yes, we do. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, wherever you are in the world. So this past month, we had our author spotlight. We actually did it yesterday with Julie Carrick Dalton. That's what the image is up there. That's our flyer from that. It went wonderfully well. If you didn't know, she is a HES alumni. She graduated in 2005. She has just published her 3rd novel, and she's a climate activist. It was a great spotlight. It's recorded, and it's going to be sent into HESA so it can be posted on the on our YouTube channel. So if you weren't able to attend, you can watch it then. We also had our monthly read between the wines, where we discussed brainstorming. Had a little bit of wine and discussed a lot of stuff. It was a really good time. If you haven't been to a read between the wines event yet, stop in. It's really a good time. We start on one specific craft subject, but we go off on a tangent to pretty much anything anybody wants to talk about. It's a great little socializing hour. This coming month, we have our meeting next Thursday for our General Assembly for our association. And we're planning for elections just like everybody else is. We're starting to get the ball rolling on that. We're going to start taking solicit for volunteers to run our election process. That's one of the big things we're doing this month. And we're also soliciting for creative works for our newsletter. Our newsletter is going to be published bi-monthly, once every 2 months, not twice a month, because that could mean both things. So we just published it last month on the 15th. It'll be published next month, March on the 15th. And in our newsletter, we have students or alumni members. We've opened it up to alumni, submit creative writing works. It can be either short stories, poetry, works of fiction, nonfiction. We're even taking artwork. If you wrote a song and you want to put a song in there, that's fine. It's open to all students and all alumni of HES or of Harvard in general. I will put the link to that in the chat once I'm done. Upcoming events. We have our next author spotlight with Leslie Bannatyne on March 14th. If you have never heard of her, she is the Halloween goddess. She has written several, I think dozens of books on Halloween, the history of Halloween, the celebration, a bunch of, and she is like the preeminent expert on all things Halloween. So if you like that holiday, join in. It should be a really good time. Read Between the Wines is coming up. It's normally second Thursday of each month. The 4th Thursday of each month, we're doing What's the Word, which we discuss things that coming and going with the creative writing world. Last month we discussed ChatGPT and its effect. Not sure what we got coming up this month, but I'm sure it'll be very interesting. And if you haven't visited our website yet, harvardwriters.org is our website. Our newsletter and a bunch of other stuff can be found on there. And I think that's all I have.
Thank you, Art. I love the .org. That's awesome.
Well,
And-
.com was the price tag on that was like $20,000.
Oh
So
no.
.org.
Okay, well, fantastic. I am a big Halloween person, so we'll definitely be seeing me very soon. And thank you for saying that lyrics and songs are allowed, because I'll send some in. Why not?
Perfect. We're looking forward to it.
Do we have a rep from GDPSS?
Yes. Hi, everyone. It's great to see you all today. Just following up from our last meeting, we have a date now for the film show, which is February 18, 2024. I know last time we asked about things around licensing and things, and thank you for everyone who reached out who might have a little bit more insights on it. Our posters and marketing materials are going out. We're just confirming with Gwen to make sure everything is in line with her. In addition to that, we also had our we started this semester with Fridays for Connect, which is happening every first Friday of the month. Basically, we realized there's so many new students joining our program and our team, and not everyone know each other. So we also wanted to create something that is more casual, in addition to some of this more planned event. So we'll be doing this throughout entirety of the semester, every first Friday. Sorry, excuse my voice. In terms of what's going on after this, is we were also looking into creating a combined resources in our website where we are publishing some of our papers, some of those capstone survival guide one-pagers, trying to help some of the folks who are also doing this intensive process with global development program, with some other resources available to us. And in April, we're of course going through with this election info session and looking into guest speakers to work together during the Earth Day, partnering with some other groups to host this event.
Thank you, Michelle. Yes.
Yeah. No. I think I updated my slides maybe after, so it's not showing. I think that is the last slide, but that's not an issue.
Thank you for letting us know. Do we have a rep from IOPS here today?
Hello, how's it going, everybody?
Hi.
So for those who are new, we are Industrial Organizational Psychology Student Society. So just a few updates. We ran Leadership Spotlight series focusing on psychometric assessment for the last one, which had a pretty interesting discussion and a really good turnout. We're going to do the next, we're going to have recurring webinars. One of them is how to maximize your degree. Like you mentioned earlier, there's like the certifications and whatnot that could be really confusing to people. So we're doing one of that more for like degree courses planning. Preparing for convocation is one that we always do, and we will always try to do in-person events. So for this coming month, we're going to do one on preparing for the graduation and seeing if there's any events that the IOP group can get together to do. So I don't have Dimitri's here, but I got orders from my team to give him a big shout out because we have the launch of the website. I'm very happy for that. So I'm sure it's a lot of work for him. So thank you so much, Dimitri. We are doing quarterly member newsletter, and we have like 2 founding members that launch a Psych Your Way to Success IO podcast, which is also quite interesting. We were very thankful that we got some gift card sponsor from what's that place that you get swags on campus? Anyway, that place that you get the swags, we got 2 gift cards. Sorry, what is it?
The Coop?
Yes, the Coop. We got 2 Coop gift cards, and we actually did a lucky draw for our members, and we have 2 winners, which is actually great. The only issue is that the gift cards are not digital. So one of our members had to get their address and like go to the post office and mail to them, which is like a little bit, like complicated logistics wise, but I'm sure our members enjoyed it. So upcoming, we actually reached out to an external party called CBOC. They're actually like a professional group that's focusing on, employment or like professional work. in the IO space. So we're going to do a collaboration with them to do some spotlight series. We might get some sponsors for our members, which is exciting. And then we'll have a commencement event, and we're, like everybody else, working on 2024 calendar, working on succession planning and whatnot. So yeah, very excited times. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That sounds really exciting. A lot going on. We love to hear it. And then I imagine most of the societies are having elections come up too. Vegas, did you have any comments about any elections or anything like that before we move on?
I think right now we're at the stage where we're spreading the word and getting like interesting people to kind of like express their interests. And what we want to do, and I think that might be interesting for others to hear, is we're each going to do a video recording of our role, our experience, and we're going to share with people that are interested so they can get a better sense of what the roles and responsibility would be like.
Very cool. I think that'll be super helpful. Yeah, videos are always well received.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Thank you. HESPSS, where are we at?
Hello. Well, glad to see you all. So we have also a few things coming up. We have a lot of plans for our podcast. So we have several different, types of events that we are hosting. So we have a podcast series, and we have, as you can see on the slide here, a few guests that are, lined up for that we're very excited about. We also have more live through Zoom events as well that we are planning. I cannot share too much of those just because we don't have the dates yet. So it's all kind of in the works as the semester really like starts to kick in motion. We're definitely trying to get some connection for students in the psych degrees that are doing, their own projects, whether it is through the capstone and thesis track, whether it is their own, research projects, like having some form of a platform for students to share what they're doing and, get a little bit of a greater sense of community amongst members. So working on that as well. And in the meantime, we're not leaving you without anything about us. We have actually a Wednesday wellness series that's been going on since last year. So some of you may have taken a class with Lupita, who was our yoga teacher. And we currently offer every Wednesday a meditation class, which is pre-recorded. So it's all on our YouTube channel. I'll put everything in the chat afterwards. And I'm the one guiding the class. It isn't live, but that also means that you can take it whenever you want. It's available there if you want to take it on Wednesdays. If you want to take it on Saturdays, you can do that. Whether you are, in the US or elsewhere in the world, you can access that whenever you want. And I'll also share our many different social media sites, but you can also scan the QR code if you want to join us and follow us on our social media platforms. That's for us.
And Bina, your microphone's off.
Thank you. I was just saying that I'm very jealous that Dr. Ivkovic is going to be one of the speakers. All right, HES VSS. Chris, you want to take over?
Yep, thank you. Hey all. In case you guys don't know, Lima Charlie is what we use when we say loud and clear. Instead of saying loud and clear, you say Lima Charlie. That's why that's on there. So Veteran Society, I got my two screens, so don't mind me looking up. In-service, we're gonna have an in-service coming up that I'll be hosting on the 24th, trying to figure out a time. So that'll be a Saturday, I believe. This is going to be about maximizing Chapter 31, which is vocational readiness and employment benefits. A lot of vets can use this if they're open to it. It's geared towards getting a job after your discharge, after your separation. day. There's a lot of benefits to that. There's one lady, her name is Nick the Vet. I've been in contact with her to see if she wants to come and present with me, but she does not want to, which is okay. But she made like 30 or 40 videos. She has a website, so we're going to go over all that. It's just a really clean guide to figure out how to maximize your benefits for that. There's also chapter 33 and 35 and other ones, but for this particular in-service, we're going to focus on chapter 31. Open positions, we still have open positions, and I think we will until elections roll around, which is fine. Affinity celebration. So we are having our first Veterans Affinity celebration. This is also open to family members of vets. So if you know anybody in class that is a veteran or spouse of a veteran, child of a veteran, what have you, or active duty person, they're welcome to come if they are graduating this coming year. You can sign up with for it with the QR code to the right. We do need committee members. So if you know anybody who, again, is interested in helping out on the committee, that'd be great. We are speaking with all of the schools right now, HUVO, which is the college's veteran society. We have the law school, Kennedy School, business school, and those are the main ones that we have right now. So we're all kind of collaborating. We're all on an email chain. I just had a meeting with them yesterday. Super exciting. So far, I've been putting up flyers. It says the 21st. I think we're going to change to the 22nd between 11 and 1, I believe. So it'll be like a brunch thing. So it's a short, 2-hour deal. We are planning on doing a stole thing. We're not sure, depending on the budget that we receive from EDIB office, if it's going to be paid for or if it's going to be something that has to come out of pocket. But we'll update on that as we learn more. And then last bit is changing up the guard. Elections are this semester, as we have been talking about. So if you are interested in joining and helping out your fellow veterans, or if you're a veteran yourself and just kind of getting involved, this would be a fantastic opportunity to do so. And then I got a question, close friend who works at Higher Military. Do you think that would be something? Sure, we'll chat. I'll talk to you in the chat. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Chris. Okay, moving on. All right, let's hear from the HES Management and Finance Student Club.
Hi, everyone. For those new to the room, my name is Alex Ponce. I am the president of the Management and Finance Club. And first, thank you for being here. I know it's an effort to come in on a Saturday, and for you to take the time to be here is greatly appreciated. We have quite a few things, so I'm going to try to go through them quickly. In the chat, I put in our link to our club website. I implore everyone to go there, subscribe to our mailing list, get our newsletters. They come out every month, and they're chock full of great information. We have 2 podcasts now. So not only do we have the Industry Expert podcast, which are kind of like masterclasses, but our second podcast, which comes out every week, is in effect a professor spotlight. And they are on professors from HES and other expert university programs that deal with management and finance. So if you definitely want to learn something and you have half an hour to give, this is definitely the spot for you. Our in-person events continue. We will be announcing our next city very soon. And like all the other ones, it should be a blowout. But most interesting is we're looking into creating a finance symposium in Switzerland. And that should be quite an interesting thing for many people, especially because we have such a large European contingent that can easily get there, but it's gonna be amazing. So that's something that's right now in the works. Regarding, let's see, recruitment, we have been talking to a recruiter from a major multinational consulting firm, and they are going to be setting up shop on campus for interviews in the coming weeks. So I'm going to be sending out notifications in the next days, letting you all know. So if you're interested in consulting, that's definitely where you want to go. Trust me. Let's see, elections. So we've been talking to a strategist that has helped run successful campaigns, including for the New York governorship. And so they are going to be consulting with us as far as the elections, not only for the club, but also for HESA, because there are many people that are interested in these roles, and we want to make sure that they're well stocked with a deep bench of experts. Finally, awards. We're going to be creating awards, as I mentioned in our last GA, where we're going to be not only recognizing those people that have been showing excellence in business and have ideas of entrepreneurship. There will be a financial incentive attached, but separately from that, we're going to be issuing awards as part of the same ceremony, recognizing people that have been supportive of the club. I mean, it's been amazing, it's been successful, but ultimately it needs to be recognized, and this is our way of doing that. And I think that's it. I have a few more things, but I don't want to take up more time. Thank you so much, Amina. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. A lot going on. That's awesome. Okay, so General Assembly, what's next? Please feel free to RSVP for upcoming events. The newsletter link, here's our WhatsApp group and our Facebook group. Let me go back because I went too fast. Okay, if I can figure out, there we go, there's the back button. Well, it won't let me. There we go. You can sign up for our newsletter here. It came out a few days ago. Sarah did an amazing job with that and talked about the upcoming events, including Paint and Sip and the movie night, and also the fact that, you know, we're still staying strong with ESRI. But you can also RSVP for upcoming events. You should see posters all over campus now, particularly on the kiosks in the Smith Center, in Weld Hall on the bulletin boards, in the Science Center, etc. Where I've been posting pretty heavily, not only just for HESA, but also for the Student Wellbeing Committee. You can also join our WhatsApp community. When Lindsay last gave information about it, we were up to 1,600 members. And then of course, we'll be meeting with Dean Coleman. Also, Danilo Mandic will be here in approximately 8 minutes. So with that, I'm going to stop sharing the screen while we wait for him to arrive. But I am going to open the floor for questions, concerns, any mentions of anything that needs to be happening at the Harvard Graduate Council meetings or the Dean's meeting, or if there's any questions about the Crimson Reporters.